I want to start. If you could kind of give me a little bit of a backdrop, some people may not know who you are or kind of like your career as a whole. Could you kind of go back a little bit, kind of give us some backdrop, and then we'll get into some baseball hitting stuff or whatever.
Yeah, man. Not to go too far back, but I went to my first major league game. I was about 10 years old. My dad took me, my older brother, and my younger brother to go watch Hank Aaron play at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And Hank Aaron was closing in on that home run record, and so it was the only major league game that I'd ever seen before I made it to the major league. So I can remember that moment. Every time Hank Aaron would take a swing, the whole stadium, the flashes, every swing that he took. Well, my dad had us out in left field, had us spread out, we was 9, 10, 7, and we was all spread out in left field. But I could just remember him hitting that homer and that ball sailing out into to left field in the stands. And I know probably everybody thinks we caught one of those balls, but we didn't.
Now that would be a good end to that story.
But what I caught was like a dream. I was like, man, that's what I want to do. So fast forward, 1992, we was playing Atlanta Braves in the World Series. Deion Sanders, me and him's talking out there in left field, and it was like an epiphany at that moment. It's like, wow, I saw myself, up there in those seats. But that's where my dream started. The Yankees, I was in college. I went to junior college for 2 years, and then went to the University of South Alabama, where the Yankees started talking to me about, we're going to draft me. What would it take to sign you and that kind of stuff. I was like, man, if they only knew it'd take nothing. So they ended up drafting me in the 18th round and out of college. And I remember when they called me on the phone that day, it was just me and my mom in the kitchen. And Jack Gillis, a Yankee scout, called, hey, Turner, we drafted you in the 18th round, and, this is what we got, and we want to sign you. I said, well, I can't sign for that. I did tell him I needed a new car. Didn't have a car, and I wanted my college paid for. So they said, well, we can't do that. And so I got off the phone, and I got with my mom. I was like, God, I just told the New York Yankees no, when I know I would have signed for nothing. So I went to go see my buddy, his dad owned a used car dealership. And so I went up there and talked to him. I said, man, I just told the Yankees no. And I said, here's my dream. And, I guess my mom gave him the number of where I was going to be. And that scout called me up there, and I ended up agreeing to the contract right there at Little's Auto Sales. So I told everybody, if they need a good, clean, used car or a major league contract, you go to Little's. But that's kind of where it started for me, man. And I was with the Yankees for 3 years, and then getting traded to Cleveland, made it to the big leagues with them. There for a couple of seasons, and traded to Toronto Blue Jays, where we won the World Series in 1992 and 1993. From there, Milwaukee Brewers, another 3 years, and then to the Pittsburgh Pirates, Arizona Diamondbacks. Got to play in the playoffs with those guys, and hit a homer in the playoffs against the Mets in 99. But 2000. And then 2001 was my last year with the Phillies. So that was really my last year playing was 2001.
Okay. And then did you jump right into coaching or no?
No, I had some good advice to sit out a year, and which I did. My pastor at my church asked me if I would lead the youth group. Our youth pastor was going to go to another church and be a lead pastor, and I said, well, yeah, I'll be glad to. I'll do it until we find a new youth pastor. Well, that was 3 years later. I'm still a youth pastor, and they actually a youth pastor came, and another church up the street when I left that position for the new youth pastor to come in. Another church asked me to do it, and so I did that, and they had 2 services, a really large youth group. So I did that, and during that time, it was like from 1 week to the next. When that ended, Doug Strange called me. I don't know if you remember that name. He played in the big league some, but he was with the Pirates, and asked me if I wanted to manage their rookie ball team in Florida. And I said, man, I don't know if I can. I hadn't even talked to my wife about something like this, and this is like year 4 now being at home. So I talked to her. She goes, "I know you would love to do it." My youngest son, or my oldest son, said, "Come on, Dad, you know you want to." And so I was like, "All right." So I did it. So I did that, 2005, and then for the next, I don't know, however many years now, 20 plus years coaching and 16 years playing. So
Wow.
been in the game for like over 35 years now.
How old was your oldest son when you took that first one?
So he was 10 years old when I finished playing in 2001.
Okay.
So about that time, he was around 14. So he was a teenager. He knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So we had our youngest child, 2001, my last year. She was born in January in 2000. So I played that 1 year, while she was a little infant.
If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this content valuable.